the others. This is Alex W7FTM, along with Vicky K8VKY. We will be your net control for the Saturday Night Trivia Net number 160. This is a directed net, so all traffic should go through net control. Is anyone traffic they were holding until the start of the net? If so, come now. If you do have an emergency at any time during the net, just say break, break, identify your station, and we will come to your assistance immediately. The format of the net is live trivia. One random question will be read to each person who checks in. You'll have 4 answers to select from. And tonight's topic, well, as you may have heard, Christopher Nolan has come out with a new film called The Odyssey. It's set to be released next week. However, this version of Homer's ancient Greek epic is being met with criticism for its historical inaccuracies and ridiculously woke miscasting of the story's main characters. So, be warned, this is no Troy. Nonetheless, it could still be entertaining, we'll see. So tonight's topic will be Greek mythology. And question of the night, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? Now, if you want some help with some of the minor ones, we're talking Greek here, not Roman, which, of course, Rome took everything from the Greeks and changed the names of some of the gods. But if you want a little bit of help, I can go over a few of these later, if you're not sure which one you relate to the most. So, okay, let's see who's checked in so far. We have German George in Scottsdale, Arizona, KJ68RR, always plays by email. He got his question correct. He most identifies as Odysseus, although Odysseus wasn't a god nonetheless. He's pretty important in Greek literature. Next up we have Geo2HAI George in Japan. He missed his question. He played by email too. He identifies with Cupid or Eros. Now the Eros is what we're looking for. N6MOT, Little Island, Monterey, California. KK7HLD, Dave in Portland. KN6MIK, Mike in San Diego. V3RWJ, Chris in Ancaster, Ontario, Canada. KK7AVK, Victoria in Phoenix. N5ZUA, Steve in Houston. KU5MUX, Teresa, College Station, Texas. KA8BYU, Roy in Blasdell, New York. KI7ZRI, Don in Kinnick, Washington. KD5AJZ, Alex in Pasadena, Texas. We have N7FGP, Scott, our facilitator in Jamestown, New York. Dennis in Wabash, Indiana, KD0TBN. Wes, Grants Pass, Oregon, KD6EAR. Tony in Reno. Welcome to the net, by the way, Tony. KM7 and GTF. Let me drop. We have Chris in Hollywood, KQ4UPK, Florida. That is. Stephanie and Larry in Oak Grove, California, KN6JLW and KN6JLX. Fred in Reno, K7FPS. Patrick, Madison, Wisconsin. In James in Kissimmee, Florida, K4KVE. And looks like you're new to that too, James, so welcome. Robert in Kellyridge, Australia, played by email. Tonight he got his question correct. Didn't say which god he wanted to be, so I guess I don't have mythology in Australia. David, Toledo, Ohio, KF8GTW, and Nicholas in Madison, Wisconsin, W9MKE, taking more check-ins, full call sign, phonetically twice, please.
Oh, Foxtrot. Kilo 7, Foxtrot, Quebec, Zulu. This is Bubba. Kilo 7, Foxtrot, Quebec, Zulu.
WX9IDX.
Kilo Echo 9, Foxtrot Victor Uniform.
Mike 7, Kilo Whiskey Romeo. Mike 7, Kilo Whiskey Romeo, in and out. KR4
Charlie 9, Kilo Papa Juliet. Kilo Charlie 9, Kilo Papa Juliet. Mike, Wisconsin, in and out.
KR4 HPQ, Kilo Romeo 4, Hotel Bravo, Quebec.
All right, then, that looks like a great start for the net tonight. We have joining us also Brent in Pensacola, Florida, KF6HTJ. Bubba in Tolleson, Arizona, KK7FQZ. I think Bubba is a character from Greek mythology. I'm not sure yet, but we're still figuring that one out. Peter in Delavan, Wisconsin, WX9IDX. Patrick in Madison, Wisconsin, K9FVW. Carl in Manchester, England, was in and out, M7, KWR. Thank you, Carl. Neil in Durham, North Carolina, KR4 HBQ. And Michael in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, KC9 KPJ. I believe that was everyone. Did I miss someone? I may have heard one other station. I could be wrong. Try again. I guess I was wrong. All right, taking it to the top, we have a Little Al in Monterey, California, N6MOT. Welcome back, Little Al. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Well, I've always liked that one Star Trek episode. I am Apollo. Anyway, I'm going to go with Apollo. He's probably the most recognizable anyway. Anyway, ready for a question.
One of the better Star Trek episodes, and by the way, Apollo was one of the few gods that made the transition as far as keeping the same name from Greek to Roman mythology, so good for him. He's a god of music, and for those who don't know. And your question is, all right, you knew that one. Who's the king of the Greek gods? Who is king of the Greek gods? Was it A, Poseidon, B, Zeus, C, Hades, or D, George Stephanopoulos?
Oh, no, I always thought it was Ringo Starr, but I'm going to go with Zeus. Yeah, Zeus is the head honcho, I believe.
Indeed he is. He's the king of, what do they call it? The supreme deity of the Greek pantheon. So that would be Zeus. Thanks. They do get harder as they go on. Thank you, Lal. Dave in Portland, Oregon, KK7. HLB, tell me, Dave, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Well, this is Ignis from HLB. I was always more fond of the Norse pantheon, Loki. So that's a pretty tough question. Yeah, I'll have to say I don't remember him well enough to choose. How's that? Take it away, Alex.
Yeah, no problem. If anybody who took a mythology course in high school or college should ace this test, but no, not everybody did. So let me draw a few of the others here, lesser known ones. And there's Hephaestus, the god of the forge. Demeter, goddess of the harvest. Athena, of course, is the goddess of wisdom. Ares, the god of war. Dionysus, the god of wine. We can probably, some of us relate to that one. Persephone is the goddess of the underworld for all you goth ladies out there. And Eros, of course, is the god of love. Your question, Dave, is who is the Greek goddess of wisdom? Greek goddess of wisdom, is that A, Athena, B, Hera, C, Aphrodite, or D, Charon?
was the Uber driver that took the hell across the river. Fixed, I think it was. So it wasn't him. God, what were the other ones? My brain don't work very good.
Let's see, was it Athena, Hera, Aphrodite, or Karen? Aphrodite, or Karen?
Oh, man. I don't know. I'll just say B because it's in the middle. Although I want to say A. But I'd be guessing either way. I just know that, like I said, Karen was the Uber driver that took people to and from hell. So, over to you, KK-72.
You know, you're not too far off on that. Actually, it was Charon, C-H-A-R-O-N, was the ferry boat driver, you know, the boatman that took the people across the river Styx to hell. But, yeah, it's not B, it's A, Athena. Athena is the Greek goddess of wisdom. She's also regarded as the patron and protectress of various cities across Greece, particularly the city of Athens, from which she most likely got her name. Thank you, Dave. Mike in San Diego, K6, M-I-K. All right, which one of those Greek gods do you relate to the most there, Mike?
Good evening, Alex. Always a pleasure. K6MIK, Mike here in San Diego. I'll have to go with my all-time favorite Big Daddy. That'd be Zeus. Go ahead, Alex. Hit me.
Yeah, you didn't want to make fun or tick off the man at the top. You return it to strange creatures or cursed or whatever. So yeah, that would be you wouldn't get his good side. Your question is, which hero slew the Minotaur? Which hero slew the Minotaur? Was it A, the killer rabbit, B, Heracles, which of course is Hercules, that's the Greek version, C, Theseus, or D, Perseus, who killed the Minotaur?
Well, if I remember my movie right, I think it was Hercules. Always a pleasure, Alex. K6MIK. Back to you.
Well, although he killed just about every other creature in the Iliad and the Odyssey, he actually it was Theseus, the one most people don't hear because they haven't made a movie about him, I don't think. Yeah, Theseus, the king of Athens, who slew the Minotaur. That's how he got famous, for killing the Minotaur. Thank you, Mike. Chris, Ancaster, Ontario, Canada, VE3, RWJ. Okay, tell me, Chris, which Greek god or goddess do you relate? V3RWJ. Yeah, maybe later. Victoria in Phoenix, KK7AVK. Okay, Victoria, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Good evening, Alex. This is Victoria, KK7AVK. Well, I just read up on which goddesses there are, just to make sure, because I know only probably a couple. So the one that I picked was Artemis, the goddess of hunt, wilderness, wild animals, and the moon. Not that I'm a hunter, but I did like the wilderness part and wild animals. Supposedly she tames or she speaks to animals. So yeah, Artemis.
Artemis it is, or her more popular Roman name was Diana. That one stuck, but Artemis didn't. That's too bad. Anyway, you are correct. And Victoria, your question is, who was the god of the sea? The god of the sea. Was it A, Apollo, B, Poseidon, C, Hermes, or D, Grant Staten III?
Oh, thank you for taking pity on me and giving me an easy question. This one is, I think everyone knows it, it's Bravo, Poseidon. So, thanks, Alex. Have a great evening. KK780K, back to net.
No problem, Victoria. I'm just reading them as they come up. You got the one that, well, not everybody knows, but some would say Neptune. Again, Roman version. Thank you. You got it. Next we go to Steve in Houston. N5 is ZUA. Okay, which god is it, Steve? Do you relate to the most? Greek, of course.
Was Mercury a Greek god, or was that Roman? I don't remember. If Mercury is a Greek god, I'll take Mercury. But wait a minute, I'm talking about the car, not the god. I'm so confused. Back to you for a question.
Yeah, we'll take Mercury. We'll take in the Roman names too. It was Hermes, was the Greek version of Mercury, and interestingly enough, both of those are cars' names. So that's the Hermes and the Mercury. Your question, Steve. What creature had the body of a lion, wings of an eagle? Was it A, the griffin, B, the chimera, C, the pegasus, or D, a bird that you definitely don't want to park your car underneath?
I have no clue, so I will guess Bravo. Thank you. N5ZUA.
Yeah, the chimera was another interesting experiment. It was the griffin. The griffin was had the lion and the head and the wings of an eagle, which, if you had a big griffin and you walk around the neighborhood, nobody would bother you. That's for sure. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. You got it. This is W7FTM along with KE8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, going next to Teresa in College Station, Texas, KE5MUX. All right, Teresa, which god or goddess do you relate the most to?
This is KE5MUX, and since you brought up Greek gods and goddesses, I'm going to go with Nyx. She's the goddess of night. And since I'm a night owl, and if I'm not careful, I'll find myself up till 6 a.m. when I have to go to work later in the day, yeah, I think that's fitting. What's my question?
Yes, one of the lesser-known gods. You're correct. And don't forget Hypnos. He's the god of sleep. So a lot of us could use more of that. Your question is, who flew too close to the sun with wax wings? Flew too close to the sun with wax wings. Was that A, Icarus, B, Daedalus, C, Perseus, or D, Uterus?
Well, I knew that one before you even started telling the different ones. That was A. Thank you for doing the net. 7-3 all, KE5MUX.
Yeah, well, one of the best, if not tragic, stories from Greek mythology, I agree, was Daedalus and Icarus. It's his father Daedalus and the son Icarus. And he got too ambitious and wanted to fly higher and higher, and his father told him, now don't fly so high. And, well, anyway, of course, now we know the higher you fly, the colder it gets, but thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Roy in Blasdell, New York. Welcome back, Roy. K8 BYU. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? Oh, some of the other minor ones. We have Uranus, who's the father of the Titans. We have Nike, the goddess of victory. Let's see. Of course, Hades, god of the underworld. Which one do you relate to there, Roy?
Oh, good evening, everybody on the show you at KA8BYU. Whichever one is the protector of animals
I think Artemis did that too, even though she was a goddess. Anyway, well, your question is, which hero completed the 12 labors? He was assigned 12 labors, he or she. Which hero completed those? Was it A, Achilles, B, Heracles, C, Jason, or D, Aletheia, the goddess of childbirth, who completed the 12 labors?
Oh, boy. I believe it was Charlie.
Jason did other things, other great things. Some of the animation in Jason the Argonaut for its time is just really amazing. But no, it's Heracles or Hercules who completed the 12 labors. I guess that's kind of like a extra exam, with the gods. I'm not sure. Thank you, Roy. Going to Don in Kennewick, Washington, KI7 ZRI. Of course, I hear the gods worship you, Don, but if there's one you could identify with, which Greek god would you relate to the most?
Yeah, Alex, too funny. Oh, hey, by the way, overtime, Argentina won, Swiss won. So, you know what? They're all Greek to me. The dumb stuff. I would say whatever the equivalent of Vulcan is, because I like fire and I like Star Trek.
Festus it is, or Vulcan if you like. It's the Roman name, god of the forge. Not the forge, just god of the forge. Well, yeah. Don, your question is, who is the messenger of the gods? A, Olympus Express, B, Ares, C, Hermes, or D, Herpes? Yeah, Hermes is the messenger of the gods. Thank you. Thank you, Don. And going to Alex in Pasadena, Texas, KD5HAZ. Alex, all right, which one of those Greek gods or goddesses do you relate the most to?
Good evening, Alex, Vicky, and everyone on the net. It's got to be Hephaestus, because he was not just god of the forge, he was god of technology and built metal monsters. I've always been a techno geek, so he'd be my guy. I'm ready for my question, Alex.
Pointed out in, I think, last week's net, blacksmiths of the day, they made weapons and all kinds of great stuff. It wasn't just, shoeing horses like a farrier. They were making all the good stuff, even in the Middle Ages. So, your question is, which goddess was associated with love and beauty? Is it A, my wife, who's listening right now, by the way, B, Medusa, ex-wife, C, Demeter, or D, Aphrodite?
I like the ex-wife. That would be Aphrodite. Love the net, Alex. KD5HAZ, back to net.
And you're correct. Funny how that first wife, Medusa's turned men into stone, but she never made me, never mind. Yeah, you're correct, Aphrodite. My wife just told me that I look like a Greek god, painted by Picasso. Maybe she should do the jokes. All right, honey, come on, I got that to do. Scott, Jamestown, New York, N7FGP. Welcome, Scott, our facilitator in Jamestown, New York. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone out there on the net tonight. It's a toss-up between Hephaestus and Hermes, so let's see. Let's go with Hermes. So thanks for doing the net.
Hermes it is, of course. Messenger station, ham radio. That's where we all have a little bit of Hermes in us. Your question, Scott, is what was the name of the winged horse? The winged horse, was it A, Pegasus, B, Arion, C, Cerberus, or D, King Charles?
Let's go with Pegasus. Back to you.
Yeah, you watch those movies too. I mean, there was several good ones when we were younger, and several bad ones too. But yeah, they all like to feature Pegasus, which is it's just the uniqueness of it, I guess. Thank you, Scott. Dennis in Wabash, Indiana, KD0TNB. Welcome back, and tell me, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone on the net. KD0TNB. If I were to really think hard about it, I got to go with the now. I would say Hermes. No. Hephaestus for sure. That's a hard definite. I'm always tinkering and building things, and you kind of learn as you go, and then next thing you know, somebody else, and next thing you know, they're utilizing what I started. What's your question? Over.
Indecisive. That's funny, Vicky. I guess you're going to leave that one blank. If not, tell me when you come back. But your question is, who was the ruler of the underworld? If you've been paying attention, the ruler of the underworld was A, Zeus, B, Poseidon, C, Hades, or D, Victoria's Secret.
Well, as much as I really want to go with the last one, but no, I will not. I will not. The answer for that is C, as in Charlie. And about the god I was thinking of, Hephaestus for sure is who I would go with.
It is. Yeah, he didn't get the respect he deserved, I thought. He did all the work, and all the other guys kind of, messed around and made all the grand entrances and all that, and he's out there doing the work. You're correct. Yeah, it is. That's right. Yeah, we got it. All right. Your question is, who guarded the entrance to the underworld? Oh wait, did I ask you? I asked you the ruler, didn't I? Sorry, I got mixed up in my questions. Anyway, thank you. Yes, it is. It is Hades. Next up we have Wes in Grants Pass, Oregon, KD6EIR. Tell me, Wes, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Hi, Alex and Annette, KD6EIR. I guess it would have to be Apollo for some reasons. I know he's associated with music and healing, and I'm a licensed massage therapist, so I'm kind of... The only problem is that he was also depicted as a young man, so I'm starting to identify with him less and less. So back to you.
Well, when you're a Greek god, you can get those Botox treatments and drink the blood of virgins and all that other kind of stuff, so it's probably how he did it. Your question, Wes, is, and you're right, he was into music, so... God of music. Your question is, now here's the one I got mixed up on last time. Who guarded the entrance to the underworld? We know who ruled the underworld. Who guarded the entrance to the underworld? Was it A, Hydra, B, Cerberus, D, Medusa, or D, Chastity Belt?
Very good, very good. And you almost threw me on the one with the Victoria's Secret. I thought you said underworld, but I realized you might have said underwear. That was Cerberus, the two-headed
dog.
I get scared when I see frothing, angry, growling, one-headed dog. I don't want to see a two-headed dog.
Double pleasure, double your fun. Yeah, you got it. Cerebus. Yeah, it's, yeah, of course, Victoria's Secret was the ruler of the underwear, not the underworld, but it's, you caught that right away, Wes. It's, yeah, you're a musician, so you would. Thank you, Wes. Tony in Reno, Nevada. Welcome to the net, KM7 GTF. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate the most to?
Poseidon, because he was also the god of horses, but that was a long time ago for me. And being as that was a long time ago, I'm going to have to say I relate most to Kronos, the god of the passage of time.
Correct on both counts. That's right. It was Poseidon that brought horses to the earth. So those of you wondering where horses came from, thank Poseidon. And yeah, you're right about Kronos too. But your question is, which hero used a mirrored shield to defeat Medusa? Hopefully you've been watching these movies over the years or reading. Which hero used a mirrored shield to defeat Medusa? Was it A, Perseus, B, Odysseus, C, Achilles, D, Reflector?
That would have to be Perseus, as I remember correctly from a movie from my childhood. Thank you very much. KM7 GTF, back to you.
Probably Clash of the Titans. So it's, I saw that in movie theater with the girl I was dating, so I didn't really see much of the movie, but later on I watched it when it came out on TV, and I thought, hey, that's a better movie than the girl I was with at the time. But thank you, Tony, you are correct, and thanks for playing. Yeah, hope to hear you next Saturday night. Over to Chris in Hollywood, Florida, KQ4UPK. Greek mythology is the topic, of course, and which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most, Tony?
This is Kilo. Charlie 1-9. Juliet Kilo. Software test, the Echo language on the HP laptop. Name the date. KC1JKK.
Hold on a second. Hold on. We're doing a net here. You can be checking when I ask for check-ins if you like a trivia question, but you can hold off till then. Let's go back to you, Chris. KQ4UPK. What was your answer again on which Greek god or goddess you relate to the most?
That'd be Hermes, buddy.
Hermes it is. And Chris, your question is, which river in the underground world, which river in the underworld, this isn't Lord of the Rings, which river in the underworld caused forgetfulness? It's a tough one. River in the underworld caused forgetfulness. The Lethe, B, the Styx, C, the, what was it I came in here for, river, or D, caffeine-free Coffee Creek. Which one of those caused forgetfulness?
If I remember correctly, it's Alpha. Oh, yeah.
It was who?
Lythea? Is that how you say it? Alpha?
Well, I think it's Lethe, but everyone's got, a different idea of that according to the way the Greeks pronounce it. Yeah, the Lethe. It's the underworld river that caused forgetfulness. Now, some people don't know this, but there's also a stream whose water will attach itself to your skin for all eternity. It's called the River Styx. Sorry. Thanks, Chris. You got it. All right, the W7FTM along with K8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector. Going to Stephanie and Larry in Elk Grove, California, KN6JLW, KN6JLX. All right, guys, which Greek god or goddess do you relate the most to?
Hi, Alex and Vicki. This is Stephanie, KN6JLW, and Larry, KN6JLX. I'm giving him Chrysos, which is the personification of gold. He's a gold bug. And I'll take Nemesis, the personification of retribution. Go ahead.
Very good, guys. You know you're less known Greek entities. Very good. And your question is, which daughter of Atlas detained Odysseus on her island? Which daughter of Atlas detained Odysseus on her island? Was it A, Medusa, B, Circe, C, or D, Cunnilingo?
Charlie Calypso, thanks for doing the net. Have a good week.
It's funny, some people would have thought it would be Circe because, you know, she was messing around with them too. But you're right, it's Calypso. Calypso was the one who detained Odysseus on her island, and all that time passed, and, yeah, anyway. Boy, he's got a loyal wife. She comes up later, I think. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Fred in Reno, K7FPS. Hello, Fred. How's your Greek mythology? Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
K7FPS. Mobile and with third-party traffic afterwards. Hephaestus. I didn't know until I Googled it. Anyway, I'm not a history buff, but anyway, hit me with a question, Alex, K7FPS.
Yeah, I kind of figured you might pick that one because of your skills and artwork and everything. That's yep. If it is, then your question is. Where are we? Oh, here we are. What was the name of the multi-headed serpent defeated by Heracles? Yeah, the multi-headed serpent that Heracles defeated. Was it A, Hydra, B, Chimera, C, Python, or D, the United States Congress? Where's Hercules when you need him? What do you think, Fred?
Well, my router at home is named Hydra, so I'm running with that one, Alex, K7FPS, and Jane to choose.
Yep, yeah, we still got her in here. We got it all ready to go, and Hydra is correct. Yeah, Hydra. So it's the multi-headed serpent defeated by Hercules, and also popular name of routers and other things that are named after Greeks. There's a lot more than I thought. You know, in ancient Greek, the word idiot meant anyone who wasn't a politician. It's funny today, it's the exact opposite. Jane, how you doing, Jane? Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? See, the goddess of wisdom, Athena, goddess of the hunt, yeah, tell me.
Well, Alex, you guessed it. It's going to be Athena.
Athena it is, or Minerva as they called her in the mythology, although I think she's better known by her Greek name. It's funny how some of these transferred over and some did. Your question is, which hero was nearly invincible except for his heel? Was it A, Nike, B, Jason, C, Perseus, or D, Achilles?
Achilles. He was dipped by his mother to protect him because he was a warrior, but she held on to his heel, and that was the one area that he was not protected.
Yep, they did a pretty good job at Troy in that. I didn't really get into the more goddish spiritual aspects of it, like some movies from the time, but nonetheless, some movies overdid that part too. So you're correct. Yep, that's it. Achilles. Achilles. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you playing. All right, let's go to Patrick in Madison, Wisconsin, NT9A. Hey, Patrick, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Thanks, Alex. Well, I've been doing a fair amount of sailing lately, so I've probably got to go with Poseidon.
Poseidon it is, and I realized Jason and the Argonauts was a British production, but they really should have done a better job of Poseidon coming up out of the sea. That had to be an inside joke. It was kind of a older guy with a beard and a fat stomach that came up in the crashing walls so the ship could get through from the side. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. Your question is, who advised Zeus to swallow the goddess Metis? You heard this story before? Who advised Zeus to swallow the goddess Metis, M-E-T-I-S? Was it A, Gaia, B, Uranus and Gaia, C, Themis, or C, Aphrodite, because goddesses always swallow? What do you say, Patrick?
I have no idea. Yeah, not really sure. I'm just going to go with C, see what happens.
This is still the wrong Patrick answered, I believe.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Patrick, like I said, I took a mythology course in school, and I didn't know this one, but yeah, Zeus was advised to swallow the goddess Metis by B, Uranus and Gaia. Uranus and Gaia said, yeah, swallow, come on, swallow that goddess. And one of the weirder stories in Greek mythology. Thank you, Patrick. James in Kissimmee, Florida. KR4VKE. Welcome to the net, by the way, James, if you haven't been scared off already. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Real quick, Alex. Patrick, November Tango 9 Alpha breaking. And I think the wrong Patrick may have answered, or I heard incorrectly. That last calling, was that for November Tango 9 Alpha or the other Patrick in Madison?
Well, I got NT9A Patrick in Madison, so would that be you? I mean, let me look here. Is that you, or was that the other Patrick that's the same name in the same place?
That was the other Patrick in the same place with the same name. He just answered, not me. But yeah, take that wherever is clever. I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay, well, I'm a little confused. We'll figure it out. If you want to check in later, we're getting close to the end of the call list here. We'll get you in there also. All right, thank you, Patrick. James in Kissimmee, Florida, KR4KVE. Again, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? James in Kissimmee, KR4VKE. right, well, I guess we're getting near the end of the list, and let's go, let's go to Patrick in Madison, NT9A. We'll get you in here since we called the wrong call earlier. You get the question of the night, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Thanks for fitting me in here, Alex. I kind of figured there might be a little confusion with two Patricks in the same place. But I would say I guess I connect with Athena the most. I am a hunter, and I do have a cat named Athena. But I am also a musician, so Apollo and Dionysus as well. What's my other question?
Athena it is. All right, thank you, Patrick. NT9A. Yeah, we got it straightened out. Sorry for the confusion. Your question is, what did King Midas famously turn everything into? Was it A, muffler shops, B, diamonds, C, gold, or D, Bitcoin?
That would be the legends were carried out today. It would probably be Bitcoin. But yeah, that was definitely gold. Thanks for the question, and thanks for doing the net tonight, Alex. Wonderful as always.
Hey, thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that, and yeah, a little bit of past noise, but we did get your answer. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, so it is, well, of course, gold. They do have Midas muffler in New York, don't they? I think they did. I wouldn't have put it in if they wouldn't. Had in the East Coast, too. Thank you. All right, let's see. Robert, Vicky 2DY checked in already. Got his question correct. Yeah, he did. He got his question correct. David, Toledo, Ohio, KF8GTW. Yeah, welcome to the net, and tell me which Greek god or goddess would you relate to the most?
That would be Apollo. That would be Apollo. This is KF8GTW. Thank you.
The music and medicine guy got you down for Apollo, David, and your question is, who led the Argonauts in search of the Golden Fleece? We mentioned earlier the Argonauts. Was it A, Jason, B, Theseus, C, Shepard, or D, Bernie Madoff?
Well, I'm going to have to go with A. That would be Jason. Thank you.
Yeah, D was kind of a golden fleece too, wasn't it? That was, people are such stuff. You're correct. Yeah, it was Jason and the Argonauts that went in search of the golden fleece. Thank you. David, Nicholas in Madison, Wisconsin, W9MKE. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most, Nick?
Oh, good evening, Alex. Thanks for running another fun net, and thanks, Vicky. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Chaos, who I believe was the god of the origin of the universe, and I'm very much fascinated by space and outer space and astronomy and cosmology, and I think Urania was also astronomy, but I'll go with Chaos. What's my question, Alex?
Chaos it is, only wasn't that the organization Maxwell Smart and Control were fighting against? That have to be really old to know that, no problem. All right, your question, Nicholas, is part lion, part goat, and part serpent. Yeah, what was part lion, part goat, and part serpent? Was that A, a chimera, B, a griffin, C, a minotaur, or D, an animal designed by a committee?
I thought you were going to have his wife as one of the answers on there, but yeah. I believe that is, it's either Alpha or Bravo. I'm going to go with Alpha, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Thanks, Alex. W9MK.
Yeah, that's the Chimera. That's the Chimera. The Griffin was the eagle wings and head, and lion bottom. The Chimera was part lion, part goat, and part serpent. So, they really liked lions back then too. Lion is usually somewhat of the makeup of these chimeras. Thank you, Nicholas. Brent in Pensacola, Florida, KF6HTJ. All right, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most, Brent?
Oh, good evening, Alex, Vicky, and the rest of the trivia net. Great to be back. Well, I was going to bridge Bram Stoker and say Demeter, but being that's a goddess, and I don't need any more of a reputation around the ECR than I already have, I'm going to go with Atlas, because sometimes I feel I carry the world. Back to you for my question, Alex.
Yeah, well, Batless wasn't in there, huh? I would ask you this question, but you just gave the answer, so... But I can't do it later because you just gave the answer, so somebody else would know it now. Okay, all right, that's all right. Well, to be fair, this is the next question. Who carried the weight of the heavens on his shoulders? Was it A, Sisyphus, B, Atlas, C, Cronus, or D, Jesus?
We'll go with Bat. Bravo. KF6 HTK. Thanks for doing the net.
That's what you call a strange coincidence. Yeah, you got it. It was Atlas. Thank you, Brenton. All right, this is WVKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, and we're going to Bubba in Tolleson, Arizona, way on the west side of Arizona, near the White Tanks Mountains. Lies Tolleson, KK7FQZ. Bubba, which Greek god or goddess do you most relate to?
KK7FQZ. Hey, Alex, thanks for running the net. You're doing a great job. And I really don't know, but I'm going to have to pick either Zeus or Clint Eastwood. Give me a question there, Alex.
Was Clint Eastwood in any movies of Greek mythology? I don't think so, unless you count. No, we can't do that. All right, Bella, Zeus, and your question is, which god was associated with wine and celebration? Was it A, Hermes, B, Hephaestus, C, Festivus, or D, Dionysus?
I'm going to take a guess here, Alex, but I'm going to say C, that's Festivus, and thank you, sir, for running the net. This is KK7FQZ.
Yeah, well, Festivus was kind of a Zionist creation. It's not a real, but that sounds good anyway on paper. Dionysus was the god associated with wine and celebration, and like I say, some of this can relate to old Dionysus. Why would you need a god for that? Well, keep you from drinking too much, I guess. Thank you, Bubba. Peter in Delvin, Wisconsin. WX9, IDX, welcome back, and tell me which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Well, I definitely think the god of sleep. That's what I enjoy the most. Oh, his name escapes me, sorry. I'll take my question and leave it at that. I'm already doomed anyway.
No, don't take the attitude of Sisyphus. You're not doomed. We'll take it. Your question is, who was the blacksmith of the gods? Now, if you're paying attention earlier, who was the blacksmith of the gods? Was it A, Hephaestus, B, Apollo, C, Ares, or D, Wealthsmithus? Who was the blacksmith of the gods?
I am not doomed. I will go with A. I was paying attention.
Thank you, Peter, and you are correct. Yes. The problem with the Greek mythology questions is there's not a whole lot of material to do 50 or 60 questions with, but nonetheless, you can just word it a different way, and you got it. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. All right, let's see. Next up, we have Neil in Durham, North Carolina, KR4 HPQ. Welcome back to the net, Neil. And all right, which Greek god or goddess do you relate the most to?
Good evening, Alex from Boulder. I think you're going to have to say Sisyphus because he's probably, forging, glass blowing is probably the closest alignment there, so I'll have to go with that. So go ahead and give me my question, Alex.
All right, your question is, what was the name of Odysseus's faithful wife, the one that waited for him so long, and shunned all the suitors that came to visit her? Was it A, Helen, B, Penelope, C, Andromeda, or D, Chastity?
I'm going to have to take a wag on that one and go with Charlie. This is KR4HPQ, and I'll send it back to net.
No, and this one, Odysseus's wife is Penelope. It's a shame they don't use that name anymore. It's considered old-fashioned now, but yeah, Penelope. Helen is still around. Why not Penelope? I don't understand. Thank you. Thank you for playing. Hope to hear you next Saturday. All right, let's go to Lynn in Sylvania, Ohio. KF8 EJA. Hey, welcome back, Lynn. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate the most to?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone on the net. Thanks for doing it, and thanks, Vicki, for logging. So I asked Google who was the Greek god of nerds, and I came back with, according to between Google and a Reddit, I've got Hephaestus the Lame, and the Reddit explains that one meaning of lame means disabled, and the other meaning of lame means not very popular. So I guess that's why they call him the god of the nerds. Ready for my question? Back to net, KF8EJA.
Believe it or not, Lynn, I actually looked to see if there's any Greek god, because I had never heard of one related to nerds, and you turned up better research than I did, because I couldn't find one. So they, the Greeks were kind of badass and cool. They didn't have too many nerds, but it's good to know. Thank you for that. Your question is, here we are. Which one-eyed giants? Zeus's thunderbolts. And who are the one-eyed giants that forged Zeus's thunderbolts? Was it A, Cyclops, B, Minotaurs, C, Satyrs, or D, Sammy Davis Jr.?
Sammy might even laugh at that one. I'm going to go with Alpha, Cyclops. Back to that, and thanks again for doing it, KF8EJA.
Yeah, anybody that knows the plural of Cyclops, please let us know. You're correct, yeah. Cyclops is. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate you playing, buddy. Let's go to Amy in St. James, Minnesota, K0SBP. Welcome, and tell me which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Hey, this is K0SVP. Good evening to everyone on the net. I would have to say Apollo, God of Music, simple as that. Anyway, the question.
Yeah, thank God, so to speak, for Apollo. What would we do without music? Or horses? Your question is, and that was Poseidon. Anyway. Your question is, what fruit? Wait a minute, I'm the wrong one. Oh, who was the goddess of marriage? Who was the goddess of marriage? I think we guys are going to know this. Was it A, Hera, B, Hestia, C, Demeter, or D, alimony?
I think Hera would make the most sense. I'm going to go with Alpha. Anyways, thank you so much. 7 threes, and back to that.
And you're correct. Yeah, Hera, the goddess of marriage, married to Zeus. You got it. Thanks for playing it. Again, hope to hear you next Saturday night. John in South St. Paul, Minnesota, KB0GUF. Welcome back, John. I know these aren't science tech questions. How's your Greek mythology, though? Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? John in South St. Paul, KB0GUF. Okay, maybe later. We're almost done here. And by the way, Emmy, I see you're not even 18 years old yet. That's pretty good. Pretty good knowledge of mythology, by the way, for someone so young. So, very cool. Brian in Monticello, Kentucky, AC4BR. Hello, Brian. Can you outthink a 17-year-old? Your question of the night is, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Good evening, Alex and Vicky and everybody on the net. Well, I'm not really up on Greek mythology and so forth. I was going to make some stupid joke about asbestos, but anyway, I guess one I'm most familiar with, as a lot of people probably are, is I think the Greek version is Heracles, also known as Hercules on the Roman side of things. So I guess I'll go with that. What's my question tonight?
Who really should have been played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not now, but I mean, like 30 years ago. Thank you, and yeah, you got that. Thank you, Brian. Your question is, which hero outwitted the one-eyed Cyclops Polyphemus? Who was it that outwitted the Cyclops Polyphemus? Was it A, Perseus, C, Sirius, A, Perseus, B, Sirius, C, Ophthalmologist, or D, Odysseus?
Well, this is a total guess because I have no idea. I'm going to go with A, Alpha. It's probably wrong, but worth a shot. Anyway, we'll see you all next week. AC4BR.
Thank you, Brian. Well, you did pick one of the heroes from the most likely ones that would do it. But Perseus, he was too busy with the golden fleece and other things. It was Odysseus was the one that outsmarted the Cyclops that went in and got the sheepskin and food and goat cheese and all that his men needed when they landed on the island there. So that's finally a question related to the movie I just spoke about at the beginning of the net. Odysseus it is. Thank you. Brian, Timothy, and Tillamook, Oregon, KK7 and XV. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most, Timothy?
This is KK7 NXV. I can't remember his name, the one that pushes the rock up the hill, or maybe Medusa, which is probably why I do radio.
Is it Ixion? No, it was the other one. Okay, that's good analogy, by the way. Good analogy. Your question is, what fruit did Persephone eat in the underworld? Yeah, what fruit did Persephone eat in the underworld? Was it A, an apple, B, a pomegranate, C, a fig, or D, a Tallarico?
I'm going to go for Bravo. KK7 NXV, back to net, 73.
Because, as you correctly surmised, pomegranates are real popular in Greece and good source of food. Yeah, wasn't it Tallarico? The people in Texas are probably enjoying that one. You're correct. Thank you. Thank you, Timothy. And finally on the list, Leo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Look what the Italian cat drug in. K4ITA. Glad you can make it, buddy. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? And it's okay if you want to do the Roman names.
Good evening. Good evening, Alex. Good evening, Vicky. I like this question. I'm nice to be back in the net, my favorite net. Thank you for doing the net. And yeah, thank you about the Roman. Yes, I would say a Roman god, Mercury. Mercury, the messenger of the god. Yeah, it's actually Roman, not Greek. And it could be also a god for radio. You know, we are messengers anyway, in some way. Back to you, Alex.
The Mercury version of Hermes. Thanks. And your question is, I didn't know this one. Maybe you do. So we'll see. Which deity could change shape to avoid answering questions? Did you know there's a deity that could change shape to avoid answering questions? Who was it? Was it A, Proteus, B, Potus, C, Triton, or D, Nemesis, Nemesis, if I can pronounce it correctly? Which one of those could change shape to avoid answering questions?
I'm not sure. Really, trying to think, but it's way too long that I was looking at these things. So I don't know. Let's try with Alpha. Back to you, everybody. Good night. K488.
Again, Leo is pretending like he doesn't know the answer to a question and gives the correct answer. Yes, it's Proteus. Proteus was the one who is the deity who could change shape to avoid answering questions. So very, very good, Leo. To be honest, I didn't know that one either. But did everybody get the POTUS joke? Okay. That's the end of my call list. Taking more check-ins for the Eternite Tree. That full call sign phonetically twice, please.
Kilo Quebec 4, Oscar Quebec November. Kilo Quebec 4, Oscar Quebec November.
WX9, India Tango X-ray.
Oh, that's for Ohio State University.
we picked up 5 more. We have Dusty in Orlando, Florida, KQ4 OQN. Rachel in Tinley Park, Illinois. Welcome back, Rachel. WX9 ITX. Jerry in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, N4 OSU. Boyce in Surprise, Arizona, K4 BBR, and Mark in Orlando, Florida, W4 KNS, and welcome to the Trivia Net. The question of the night is, well, the topic is Greek mythology, and our question is, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? All right, Dusty, tell us, KQ4 OQN.
And I just blew in the door from work, so there's no doing any research as the net was going on.
Oh, it's okay. Well, you got Zeus, Apollo. Well, that's all right. If you think of one, let's let us know later. Your question is, which punishment was Ixion, I-X-I-O-N, forced to endure in Greek mythology? A, carrying the sky forever. B, being bound to a fiery spinning wheel. C, pushing a boulder uphill. Or D, endless instructions. What was the punishment Ixion was forced to endure?
You know, some of these assembly instructions that are Changlish or thislish, oh my gosh. It is painful. Like, can somebody use Translate? But I'm going to go with A, alpha.
Yeah, I put that one in there because everybody can relate to that. It looks like somebody's... actually, Ixion was forced to endure being bound to a fiery spinning wheel. That's, well, there are worse things. But thank you, thank you, Dash, you got it. Well, that's the correct answer anyway. Appreciate you being there, Rachel in Tinley Park, Illinois. WX9 ITX. Hey, welcome back, Rachel. And which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
This is WX9. This is WX9 India Tango X-ray. I don't know if I'm getting through now, but I would say that I would relate to the Greek god of Hephaestus. Did a little bit of soul searching, and I would say that one, since I like to tinker, you should see my room full of electronics and different things, and I like accessories to my radios, and I've always chosen that kind of thing. And when I was young, you know, would I prefer the marble game or the CD player? I would prefer that, and I like tinkering with things and stretching to see how far the cordless telephone would stretch. So I would definitely say Hephaestus the blacksmith, not in the literal sense of blacksmithing, but tinkering. So anyway, that's my answer.
All right, Hephaestus, Hephaestus, whoever you got it. Thank you. Tinkering. Very good. So you don't have the usual stuffed animals or in your room, or, you know, dolls, or... I'm sorry, I'm thinking of my wife. Your question, Rachel, is... what was Sisyphus condemned to do forever? Sisyphus. What was Sisyphus condemned to do forever? This kind of relates to the last question. A, swim across the sea. B, count grains of... C, push a boulder uphill. Or D, wait on hold with customer service. There's a little Sisyphus in all of us.
Yeah, apparently. I'm too much of a tinker. I didn't pay enough attention in literature class. So I don't know. I guess I'll pick B for good luck. Anyway, and yeah, dolls are banished from my room. Haha. Anyway, back to net control. This is WX9 India Tango X-ray.
Well, now Sisyphus was I don't think this came up in my pathology class either. I think I got cheated. Sisyphus was condemned to forever push a boulder uphill. Yeah, push a boulder uphill. Good exercise, but I don't think you want to do it forever. And by the way, did you know that gymnasium in ancient Greek means naked exercise? And they still threw me out of Planet Fitness. What's the matter with them? Thank you, Rachel. Jerry in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in for OSU. Well, Jerry, not for OSU. Tell me, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
We'll stick with Apollo. We always feel like we got the weight of the world on our shoulders over here. Okay, Socrates. Thank you. You did a heck of a job. Enjoy you.
Thank you, Jerry. And your question is, who killed the Gorgon Medusa? Who killed Medusa? Chopped her head right off. Was it A, Perseus, B, Hercules, or Heracles, C, Theseus, or D, a medieval barber?
Never had a course, so yes, we'll go with B. You did a fine job. We enjoy you over here, and thank you. And back to you.
Well, thank you, Jerry. And it was actually the Perseus that killed Medusa. He used a reflecting shield and went in there and chopped her head off and used it to defeat the Kraken. And, well, it's a long story, but thank you for that. And we did, I see, you said you didn't have an answer for the Greek god you relate to. That's okay. Not everybody studied mythology. Thank you, Jerry. And Boyce, Surprise, Arizona, Greek god in his own right. K4BBR, Boyce, which one do you, or god or goddess, do you relate to the most?
Well, good evening. So I'm going to go with her, but only because I want to go with Vulcan, who was the Greek, the Roman equal. And the reason why is in Birmingham, Alabama, we have the second largest statue after the Statue of Liberty on a mountain overlooking Birmingham, and it's a casting of the Roman god Vulcan that was given to us by an Italian sculptor 100 years ago. And so Birmingham is kind of like in a valley, kind of like out here, surrounded by mountains, only smaller and a lot greener. So Vulcan stands on the mountain overlooking the city of Birmingham. The back of Vulcan faces the city on the other side of the mountain, which is Homewood. Vulcan forges iron with no clothes on. He has a leather apron, but the back is open. So while he's known as Vulcan to the city of Birmingham, if you live in Homewood, they refer to him as Moon over Homewood. So, but yeah, I'd go with Vulcan because I grew up with him. Let me have a question I can answer.
I don't know. Tonight that's asking a lot, but okay, Vulcan, that's interesting. I didn't know the history of that. I'm surprised that the lefties haven't torn down the statues yet in the South, because they seem to be taking down all the. I guess Vulcan gets a pass. All right, thank you, Boyce. Your question is, let's see, what instrument was Apollo most closely associated with? He was a god of music, but what instrument was he usually seen with or associated with? Was it A, the flute, B, the lyre, B, the drum, or C, the guitar?
Oh, Pop, I wanted to think that he played the harp, Is it not the heart for the Lear? Did you mention that one? I wasn't listening. But I'm going to guess the heart. Or BBR, thanks, Alex.
I said lyre is actually the Lettering Center. No, it was. You're right. It was the lyre. Yep, that's what Apollo played. He had a real pretty mouth too. Thank you, boys. You got it. Thanks. And Mark, in Orlando, Florida, W4KNS. Welcome to the net, Mark. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Say maybe Icarus. Maybe I flew too close to the sun a few times and my wings melted.
That's a good thing about modern aircraft and hang gliders. That's usually not a problem. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Icarus, it is. Now, which musician tried to rescue his wife, Eurydice, from the underworld? Was it A, Apollo, B, Orpheus, C, Hermes, or D, Keith Richards? He has a free pass to the underworld, in case you didn't know. Who was it?
Much as I'd like to believe it was Keith Richards, I'm going to go with C.
Yeah, something's going on there with him, but the musician who tried to rescue his wife, Eurydice, from the underworld was Orpheus. Orpheus, that's who we were looking for. That's also why all those theaters in the country are named the Orpheus. It goes way back. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Hope to hear you next Saturday. Thanks for playing tonight. And finally, David, Owensboro, Kentucky, W9DWH. Tell me, David, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone on the net. Unfortunately, again, this week is nothing I've really kept up on, so I don't really have one. I guess I'm just as much on history because everybody I studied about's always been dead.
I just go for Zeus. You go for the top. You can't go. And besides, Zeus probably did a lot of things that you've done in your life too, as far as relations. All right, David, your question is, who in Greek mythology opened a box and released all the world's evil? Was that A, Helen, B, Pandora, C, Persephone, or D, an amateur radio operator who should have read the manual first?
Yeah, evidently, I think they probably opened up a Pandora's box, so I'll guess Bravos. So, as always, thanks for running the net, Alex, and hope to catch everybody again next week. W9, need a bitch.
Thank you, David, and you are correct. Yeah, it was Pandora that opened the Pandora's box. Although it was a jar, it kind of got translated into a box later, but nonetheless, box or jar. And there they were. All right. Well, that was the last check-in I have. Take more check-ins for the Ethernet full call sign phonetically twice, please, and I'll be right back. There's a big bug in the living room, and it's freaking my wife out, so I have to take care of that. But I'll be back shortly. Check in now, please. Full call sign phonetically twice.
Zero GUF, Kilo Bravo Zero, Golf Uniform Fox.
Kilo India 5 Whiskey Uniform KI5WWU.
K9XOK, in and out.
9A. This is Kilo Echo 9, Foxtrot Victor Uniform.
Okay, we're back. Crisis averted. Let's see, we have John, something's Paul, KB0GUF. Hey, welcome back. Lynn in Houston, KI5WWU, Pat in Northbrook, Illinois, K9XOK. It was in and out, and Patrick in Madison, Wisconsin, K9F. The W, the topic tonight is Greek mythology. The question tonight, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most, at least in your own mind? John, South St. Paul, KB0GUF.
Good evening, Alex. Vicky on the net. Say hello to the gentleman in St. James, Minnesota. My mother. It's good to be with you. It's Kilo Bravo Zero, Golf Uniform Fox. You are nowhere near my ballpark with these questions. Go ahead, sir.
Well, let me think. Who is the Greek scientist, God? Let me, well, that could have been, that's probably, there's a couple of them, so. All right, well, let's try it anyway. Your question is, let's see, who, hang on a second. I had to leave, so I got to scroll down again. Who was the Greek god of war? The Greek god of war, was it A, Ares, B, Artemis, C, Mars, or D, Trumpus?
That would be Mars. I'm glad I got that right. And I guess my favorite god would be Apollo.
All right, Apollo it is, and Mars, it'll give you Mars. Ares was the Greek name, but of course they're inter-associated with the Romans, so you got it. Thank you. Thank you, John. Lynn in Houston, KF5WWU. Okay, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most?
Good evening, Alex. Vicky, thanks for running the net. KI5WW, Lynn in Houston. I'm going to go with the Hermes because I bought too many of their expensive ties back when I was a CPA masquerading as an investment banker 20 years ago. I'm ready for my question, sir.
Very good, very good. And then your question is, what magical herb, oh, you had to pay attention for this one, what magical herb protected Odysseus from Circe's enchantment? Was it A, ambrosia, B, molly, C, cannabis, or D, extra strength garlic? Works for me.
Great question. You may have me. I'm going to go with Alpha. Back to you, sir. KI5WWU.
Has anybody ever heard of Molly, M-O-L-Y? Yeah, that was the magical herb. Probably only from the Greek tales, because I've never heard. Thank you. You got it, Lynn. And Patrick, finally, Madison, Wisconsin, K9FVU. Which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? Do we have the Patrick in Madison, Wisconsin, what they call sign K9FVU? right then. Well, all right, we'll do one more call, last call for check-ins for the Eastern Night Trivia Net. Topic mythology. Full call sign phonetically twice, please, and we'll get you a question. Well, I hear the Greek crickets chirping outside. Looks like we got, hang on a second, 46 people checked in tonight. And thanks to everybody who did, and of those who answered questions and weren't in and out. We still got 28 people got their questions correct. Only 14 people missed their questions. That's 66.7% to 33.3%. And as far as the question tonight, which Greek god or goddess do you relate to the most? It looks like Hephaestus, or Vulcan, was in the lead at 15.4%. Hermes and or Mercury is a close second. Athena was in there too. Artemis, Zeus. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, the pie chart's very divided, but it still looks like Hephaestus took the lead. I'd like to thank everybody who participated tonight. The East Coast Reflector hosts many interesting nets during the week. And don't go by this one, please. For more information, visit eastcoastreflector.com and select the Nets tab on the main page. We are now returning control of the ECR back to normal amateur use at 9:34 p.m. at Mountain Standard Time, or 4:34 a.m. at UTC. Until next week at the same time, when the control voice will take you to the Saturday Night Trivia Net, 7 to 8 good night at W7 FTM Cleveland. Thanks again.
Thanks for another great net, Alex. See you next week. KF6HDJ.
KF4MND. KF4 MND. Anybody around?